The great Jim Jackson joining us on the program. Are you a football fan, Jim?
You know it's Steelers, baby.
Really?
Steelers. Grew up a Steelers fan.
Yeah, but didn't you grow up in Ohio?
Exactly.
Who was your favorite player?
Lynn Swan.
Oh, okay. Did you play football growing up?
Yeah, I did. And I played defensive end and tight end.
Were you like LeBron-like? Remember LeBron played wide receiver in high school?
Yeah, I played more tight end, but that was in my neighborhood. I mean, that's what we did. Either before grade school, junior high, we went around to different neighborhoods to play. We played in our neighborhood in the snow during the summer. It didn't. I mean, football was just. Now we played basketball. Don't get me wrong, but it was something about football. I don't know what it was at that time. It was just the thing to do.
Well, in Ohio, it is. And plus, where you're from, football is king up there. A couple of things basketball-wise here. Let me start with the Rockets with the small ball. I don't know what it means for the regular season and certainly for the postseason for this team. You can be a matchup nightmare when you're going, night in and night out for a different city and a different team. I get you in a 7-game series. Now, all of a sudden, it's different because I put all my efforts into stopping you. So, Rockets regular season, Rockets postseason. What do you think is going to play out here for them?
Dan, that's a good question. And I'm going to go back, and I'm going to say this. Back in 95, 96, when I was with the Mavericks, Dick Motta was the coach. We employed the same kind of strategy. We had Popeye Jones playing the 5. It was like George McLeod, myself. Jamal was hurt, Mashburn. It was Tony Dumas, Jason Kidd. And we had to do it by necessity because we didn't have any big men. So we went on this rampage where we just ran basically 3 guards and 2 forwards and just shot a bunch of threes. And back then it was a little bit different because the emphasis was, putting the ball in the post. But when we were hitting threes, it worked, okay? And then teams had to try to match up with us, and we figured our threes could outdo your 2. But it was a challenge because we just wasn't accustomed to playing like that, and certain matchups just didn't benefit us. Very much similar like this Houston team did in the regular season against the Lakers. The Lakers didn't want to adjust. They wanted to play big, so it benefited, the Rockets. But in the last, 2 games against Utah and against Phoenix, when you got perimeter players that can, still stretch the floor, play a little bit more defense, it causes a little bit more of a challenge for the Rockets. And in a 7-game series, depending on who you're playing, if they have perimeter threats just as much as the Rockets, it's going to be a challenge. I mean, because here's the thing. I was looking at some stats, right? The Rockets are outscoring their opponents like 166 to 142, I think it is, in the post. I mean, in the paint, which is great. But they don't get the stops when they need it.
Yeah.
And that's been the overall question and issue with the Rockets. We all know they can score, but in the playoffs, in a critical situation, can you get 2, 3 stops in a row to allow your offense to work for you? And that's my biggest thing about the Rockets. They're going to give up some rebounds, yeah, but they don't play defense good enough, I think, in the playoffs to be able to advance to a conference championship or even a championship because of that.
Talking to Jim Jackson, NBA on TNT Tuesday night analyst. He's got Celtics Rockets coming up tonight, also the Clippers and the 76ers. At what point do you think the 76ers have to make a decision on, are they a Ben Simmons-led team or Joel Embiid-led team?
Yeah, that's a great question, because when does management really make the decision to say, this is not going to work? That's the question. Some teams do it a little bit quicker than others, but because the franchise went all in on both players, it's a little bit more challenging for them to have to pick and choose. But they're going to have to make a decision because right now it's just not working. I mean, especially unfortunately, what Al Horford came out and said about some stuff going on in the locker room, he kind of peeled back and said, but we're going to keep it in-house. But you kind of put it out there that something is going on. And, a lot of blame got put on Jimmy Butler about saying some stuff, but it's ironic that when Butler left Minnesota, it was issues that he talked about. When he left Philly, it with these two and what's going on, it was issues, whether that's, the two superstars not getting along with Brett Brown, them not getting along with themselves. It's something going on deeper because there's a reason why this team hasn't, gotten better because of the talent. And this, the decision too, Dan, are we going with the hybrid point guard where, he could do multiple things but can't shoot the basketball, or a dominant post player who can pick and pop even though the game is revolving around perimeter players? That's the biggest question for Philly. Who's going to be our guy in the future?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Where are we going to go? And that's something from an analytics perspective, they try to look at. But it's a tough decision. But I think if anything, they'll hedge towards Embiid. But the problem with Embiid is, is his durability. So if you're gonna put your franchise behind Embiid, you're gonna have to put a mandate on him about getting in better shape and really being more professional about his business, and that's going to be a tough ask.
How surprised were you the Lakers didn't do anything at the trade deadline?
I was surprised from the perspective, they didn't want to really give up Kuzma at this time. To get, and they don't really have a lot of draft assets, so it had to be more giving up a key asset to what they want to do. I think the biggest issue is trying to figure out another playmaker. Rondo's, played well last night, but on a consistent basis for the Lakers, I think to really catapult and get past the Clippers, ultimately, if they have to play them, they need somebody else. When LeBron exits the game, and everybody talks about it, that the production and playmaking goes down, but who was out there that could kind of give them that without giving up Kuzma? I think what they may fall back on is the buyout market, maybe, and look at some guys that are available that can shore up that second unit a little bit more, whether that's a wing player or another point guard. So I wasn't overly surprised because I knew that they coveted Kyle Kuzma much more because they think he still has the potential to be, a dynamic third option, coming in off the bench. So we'll see what happens in the next month with the guys being bought out and see if the Lakers make any moves.
You played for 12 teams in the NBA, is that right?
That's right.
Do you have all the jerseys from all 12 teams, and can you name the 12 teams in order?
Well, of course, because they all paid checks, but I know the names, okay? I know the name. That's easy. Now, a jersey I don't have, Damon Stoudemire still has my Portland jersey. And, he still has it, and he hasn't sent it to me. So I got an issue with that. That's my guy. But that's the only one.
All right, run down the teams here now.
Mavericks, jersey. Got that right? Got those two.
No, you had Toronto in there.
No, Mavericks. No, I said Portland. Portland has my. That's where I played with that Damon at. Let me run down. Okay.
Here we go.
Mavericks, jersey, Philly, Golden State. Then I went from Golden State, I went to Portland, then to Atlanta, to Cleveland, to Miami, Sacramento, Houston, Phoenix, L.A. Now, Portland was in 98, 99, so that lockout year.
I think he left out the Nets.
No, I said the Nets, Jersey, the second team.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. That's good job.
So I got all of them. So I had some great cities, man. I'm going to tell you the beauty of it, though. I'm going to tell you the beauty of it, Dan, is that, as a player, you don't envision yourself, traveling and being on different teams. And after my injury, my third year, that kind of set my career back. But, it is what it is. But I got an awesome opportunity to see some great cities, play for some great franchises, and more importantly, meet a lot of great people on and off the court. So things that I do now, having that kind of career path has opened it up to be able to have those friendships, those connections that I never would have had. Would I have chosen that path myself? Of course not. But sometimes in life things happen and you just got to roll with the punches,
Paulie, can we call Portland? Can we call Damon Stoudemire and at least get Jim Jackson his jersey back?
For sure.
Yeah, call him over he's at Pacific University.
Okay, all right. Todd, Fritzy, would you get a hold of Damon Stoudemire?
I am on the case. You should get his jersey back.
Yeah, he should. You only played like 9 games for Portland.
I played a little bit more.
Okay.
But he owes me my jersey.
Nine starts.
I don't know why he's doing it.
I got you 9 starts with Portland.
Yeah, 9 starts, but I played a lot of minutes with coming up. Honestly, though, Dan, the thing I hold special about Portland, that was the first time in my career I got to the playoffs. Was that year, and we lost to San Antonio in the Western Conference Final that year, and they went on to win their first championship with Popovich that year against the Knicks.
I didn't mean to besmirch your Portland career there, Jimmy. I'm sorry about that.
You did. I mean, that's okay.
I'm sorry about that. Hey, but I'll make up for it by talking about how great you were at Ohio State. How's that?
And how about helping me get my jersey?
I will. We're going to work on that today. All right? Have fun tonight. Thank you, Jimmy. Good to talk to you again.
Anytime.
All right, that's Jim Jackson. TNT got the game tonight. Rockets and the Celtics. And you got 76ers and the Clippers.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.